Lazar, and welcome to another video. The sound might be a little bit different. You might hear some bird song. That's just because I've been relegated to outside instead of where I usually record inside. So I'm going to give this a shot. This is my one chance to record today, so I wanted to make sure that I got this up and shared it with you all. But in my chase cards videos, I detailed a whole bunch of new weapons for Liliana Untouched by Death. And so, like I mentioned in those videos, I'm going to try and make a showcase for all the different cards that I put in the chase video and show off whether or not I think they're worth actually going for or not. And so here I put together a graveyard deck using Liliana Untouched by Death. So the deck basically revolves around using your first ability to fill the graves. So destroy the top 8 cards of your library. Ignore the zombie thing, that's pointless. And then the rest of the deck is going to be, by and large, just stuff that gets stuff back from the graveyard or dumps things into the graveyard. Now, this is a little bit different from a lot of the other videos that I've posted lately, just in that there are a lot of commons, uncommons, rares in this deck. And you really only need the commons, uncommons, rares for this deck to really work. The mythics and masterpieces, or the singular masterpiece, they help it, but yeah, they're definitely not needed. So the deck is revolving around dumping things in the graveyard, and we have 3 cards here that are going to do that. So on top of Liliana's first ability, we have Gyruda, Doom of Depths, and this Demon Kraken is crazy good. So it's an 8/8 for 16. When it enters the battlefield, you destroy the top 8 cards of each player's library, and if you meet the companion requirement, which for this card is just that all of the cards in your deck have an even mana cost, then at the end of your turn, if there are 12 or more cards in your opponent's graveyard, you're going to activate the mill effect. So that is return the first creature that costs X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. I'm pretty consistently getting like matches where I have like 130, 150 cards in my graveyard and like 30 creatures in the graveyard with this deck. So Gyruda is going to bring back everything. Like the mana cost really doesn't matter. And then the other ones are Skull Prophet, which is 10 for a 4/2. And it's got the activate 3 green to convert 2 gems to black or green. And more importantly, when you convert 2 or more gems to black, destroy the top 3 cards of your library. So with the gem converters that we have, we're going to be dumping even more cards from our library into our graveyard. And then all of that dumping stuff into the graveyard just gets amplified by Deadbridge Chant, because once we start getting creatures in the graveyard, then we get this support down with, at the beginning of your turn, destroy the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of creatures in your graveyard, up to 8. Then return the first creature from your graveyard to your hand. It gains full mana. So with this, we can be dumping 8 cards in the graveyard a turn. With Skull Prophet, with this particular deck, we're going to be able to dump about 9 into the graveyard. And then if we're getting extra Gyrudas, then that's another 8 that we're dumping for each Gyruda. And furthermore, we've got Liliana's ability, which is going to be dumping 8 more. And yeah, you got it. We've got, 33 cards that we can dump in the graveyard pretty reliably each turn. So it's pretty strong. Now, apart from that, we've got some more brand new cards. So we've got Back for More, which is going to take one of the first 4 creatures from your graveyard and put it into play. And then that creature fights target opposing creature. Now, currently, this seems to be making it so that your opponent's creature deals damage to gems instead of to your creature. But, I mean, even if it did do damage to the creature, it doesn't matter. This card is awesome in this deck. We've also got Unbreakable Bond, and so this one is going to return the first creature from your graveyard to the battlefield and give that creature lifelink, which is pretty awesome because now all of our super beasties are going to be getting lifelink, and we're going to be able to bring back everything from our graveyard. So this is pretty sweet. And then for the last 2 of the new cards, we have Methos of Metroid. And so Methos of Metroid is going to be an 8 mana spell that says destroy target opposing creature, or not target, destroy the opposing creature with the highest cost. So it's going to destroy a creature, and then the better part about this is that we can use this in a mono black deck, and we've got the adamant green or white, then destroy the opposing support with the highest cost. So we're able to remove creatures and supports with this thing, which is fantastic. And so that's actually why I'm running this over Death Sprout. because A, it costs less mana, and B, it's going to destroy creatures and supports, and that's really important. And then the final new card is Brokos, Apex of Forever. And this is an 8/8. It's got the Buried effect. So a card with Buried can be cast from the graveyard for its Buried cost. And I haven't really found very many Buried cards that I like, but I absolutely love Brokos in this deck. So Brokos is going to have, when a creature you control is mutated, the first creature with Buried in your graveyard that can gain mana gains 6 mana. So this is the only thing with Buried, meaning that if we mutate or reinforce a mutated creature 3 times, then we get to start bringing Brokoses back from the graveyard and mutating more things. Furthermore, this thing has the mutation of mutate. This creature gets +6/+6 and gains Berserker. This is a really nice mutate effect because giving the creature +6/+6 means that every time you cast and reinforce it, not only are you going to get the cast and reinforce power toughness boost, but you're also going to get an additional +6/+6 boost. And so this one can mutate from the graveyard, and that's absolutely what we want for this deck. The last cards in the deck are just gem conversion. So we've got Castle Locthwain that's going to be converting 2 to black. We've got Witch's Cottage, which is going to be converting 2 to black. And we have Black Market that will ultimately be converting a ton to black if we can start getting it rolling. Now, unfortunately, even though Black Market has Resilient isn't working on Black Market in a few ways. One is if you match this gem, it's going to break. So it actually loses shields when you match it, even though it's supposed to be whenever any player matches it. And also, there's that whole Resilient thing going on right now at the time of my recording this, where if a gem is matched with Resilient and that gem changes, so this is for your opponent, then it gives the other player the mana for all of the cascades. So a little bit of a funky interaction. But that's the deck in a nutshell. We got the conversion to activate with the Skull Prophet, so let's go ahead and show off some gameplay with this sweet, sweet deck. Alrighty, so let's take a look at it in action. We've got a pretty great hand. So the Cottage, the Market, and the Dead Bridge. So that means that we've got a bunch of gem conversion, which should ideally help us get to our first ability more quickly. We've got the Dead Bridge chant to start bringing things back from the graveyard. And so here we get to our first ability, and we get the Market, and we get the Cot. This is a perfect setup. All right, great, fantastic. So we're going to get the Dead Bridge chant already. We're going to get to fill the graves. Let's see, did we get a creature in the graveyard? Yes, we got 2. Okay, so we can use Unbreakable Bond and bring something back. Sadly, if I want to make this black match, I have to destroy the Black Market just because of it not working right now properly. So I'm going to let it go. But that's okay. We've still got, we got Gyruda, fantastic. So Gyruda's the first creature coming back. That's going to give us 8 more cards in our graveyard. So our graveyard's going to start stuffing itself pretty quickly. Yeah, we're at 22 already. Filling the graves is going to put some in there. Dead Bridge Chant's going to put some in there. We're getting yet another Gyruda, which is going to put 8 more in there. We're getting a Skull Prophet, which is going to give us even more. This is going to let us mutate Brokos. So let's go ahead and... yeah, let's mutate Gyruda here. So that's going to put another 8 in the graveyard. And Gyruda's already up to 30 power. And we're just here at the beginning. So this is already starting to look really, really bad for Karn. Okay, so we got another Brokos in our hand. That's great. That's coming in from the Dead Bridge chant. So we're definitely going to want to go ahead and play that. We're going to want to convert some more gems with our little uncommon graveyard boy who is being very kind and converting gems for us. We're going to actually play that Brokos, and so we're going to use Brokos to mutate our little graveyard dude. So now our graveyard dude is becoming stronger on top of all the other strong things we've got going. And now every time he every time he reinforces by casting, he's actually getting +10 instead of just the +4. So I know you hear my computer's fan in the background. I know my voice sounds a little bit weird too, but there's nothing I can do about that with recording outside. My computer's crazy hot right now. So let's go ahead and take the black match. That's going to draw us some cards with Castle Locthwain. That's going to let us reinforce Brokos. We're going to get rid of that nasty dude. And then Karn looks like Karn's going to be pretty dead next turn, like pretty solidly dead, with no hope for any form of survival. So let's see. We got 96 in our graveyard. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, let's see where this goes. So we get a Brokos. We get Gyruda. Gyruda's getting up to 52 power. We've got another swap. We're going to fill the graves. Let's make this as big as possible. 112 cards in the graveyard already. So let's see. Yeah, if we play that Gyruda, then Gyruda is going to get another 14 power. It's to 66. We're going to get a black market down, and that's the end. So good game, Karn. Good game.